Really? I mean, you get an opportunity to take out 36 ISIS fighters, not one civilian, and you don't take it? Former Democratic presidential candidate Dennis Kucinich, meanwhile, writing an article on FoxNews.com titled, "The Mother of All Bombs is Actually the Mother of All Warmongering." Then you get the liberal Hollywood director, Josh Fox, going on a Twitter rant, basically saying we ought to be fighting ISIS with love. Here he is. He tweets, "Atrocity, murder, abomination. When will we learn that only love stops hate and bombings only create more ISIS? Moab, stop Trump." All right, joining me right now, talk show radio host Howie Carr and Senior Director of Research at Bustle.com, Jessica Tarlov. Howie, I was saying earlier, gee, I wish I could live in that director's world where, you know, you just solve everything with love. You don't need any kind of anything else to back it up. Look, you know, the left, they're going to take every opportunity they possibly can, right, to go after him. But this is one, as Colonel Peters said, where it's not so disputable. You didn't kill any civilians. You took out 36 ISIS fighters. We've got to get rid of Bashar al-Assad, by the way, some way, shape, or form. And we did send Russia a message with what we did there in Syria. Why are they all worked up?
Well, for partisan purposes, obviously. Apparently, these guys have forgotten that a Green Beret sergeant was killed by these people last weekend in this area. I thought the most poignant tweet on this whole subject was yesterday was from a double amputee in Afghanistan. His name is Johnny Joey Jones. And he was in a Twitter war with another amputee who was opposed to dropping the Moab. But this guy, Johnny Jones, wrote, "I lost my legs because my government was afraid to use the tools they had and saw me as expendable. I wish I'd had this administration." And I thought that summed it up. And he went on. He said, "We begged to use bombs on the minefield ghost town. I lost my legs clearing. But by all means, continue your rhetorically righteous tweeting." I think Colonel Peters summed it up perfectly. This was the right thing to do. This saved American lives. This saved Afghan lives. And you know, and I think this will be a major impediment to ISIS recruiting in that area in the future.
But of course, Jessica, the left is painting him as a maniac that just wants to send us into World War III.
Yeah, I'm not going to today, though. I thought the Syria missile strike was the right thing, and I thought this was as well. As you said, no civilians died, 36 ISIS fighters off the battlefield there, and that's all to the good. I think that the most important thing to focus on right now, though, is what the strategy is going to be going forward. I understand that the Moab was actually the Pentagon's call, not President Trump's, but I would still like to hear more about what we're going to be doing strategically as we continue in Syria and in Afghanistan, and probably get some congressional oversight. I would assume so. I'm not sure why not. If you are only killing, in this instance, ISIS fighters and no civilians, and the blowback is only from the far left, and I would say that about Josh Fox, the film director who you quoted there. That's not my kind of Democrat. He was a big Bernie person, and
Dennis Kucinich too. He's worried about warmongering, and you heard the congresswoman from California as well. She said, "Look, we're doubling down on an area that we shouldn't be doubling down on."
Well, there is that. You know, I mean, we've been in Afghanistan 16 years now, so it would be nice to get to some sort of conclusion. I'm not sure if Moabs are what gets us there. I think there has to be also, you know, more diplomatic efforts and civil society enhancement as well.
It's kind of hard to do when you got ISIS hanging out in the tunnels there and in the caves. You know, Howie, to me, it's pretty simplistic. You know a place where ISIS is operating, if you have the ability to go in and not even be risking, I mean, people still risk their lives, of course, and all this, but not sending ground troops in, and you can take them out. Take that opportunity.
They're in the desert, ISIS in Libya. I was thinking about that yesterday when I heard about this. I hope they're scouting out some locations to hit in Libya. I mean, this is what should be done. I just read today, Trish, that Obama used 10 times as many drone strikes in his 8 years as president than George Bush did. But where was Dennis Kucinich or Jackie Spire or this Hollywood director? Were they accusing Obama of being a warmonger? I don't believe so.
I actually think that Josh Fox might have been. I'm not sure about the rest of them, but there are a lot of people on the left who are really horrified at the number of drones.
By the way, I'm not from. You know, we were saying this earlier today. I'm not that familiar with him. Apparently, he produced a movie though that was decently popular, nominated for an award, Gasland, on fracking. But anyway, what about the isolationists out there. You know, Howie, a lot of people thought, well, Donald Trump is not going to get us into any conflict. He doesn't want to be bothered with all these conflicts around the world because we need to focus on ourselves. I always thought that was ever so slightly misguided because he did make the point that, look, when we do get involved, when we need to get involved, we're going to get involved in a really big way, and we're going to make sure that we win. We're not going to do this in any kind of half-you-know-what way.
Yeah. Well, I think there's some consternation among his supporters. I know I certainly feel some about what's going on in Syria. I mean, nobody voted for Donald Trump wanting more regime change or nation building. You know, if they wanted that, they would have voted for Marco Rubio or Jeb Bush, and nobody did. But I think the fact that we haven't you know, escalated in Syria, and this was just a sort of a bloody nose to let them know what to do. I mean, that sort of reassured a lot of Trump supporters, I think. And this and dropping the Moab yesterday, no problem whatsoever with that.
I think that this is borders like that big time.